We never discussed who's going to do the introduction, but you know what? That's what makes going live so fun. So
Yeah.
I'll jump right in, and
Mhm.
guys, we're back for another Teach Me Tuesday. Gavin Abraham, for those who don't know, mortgage loan officer, part of Team Abraham, here with Gil Mortgage in Summerville, South Carolina. But we service South Carolina and all of Georgia, and soon to be North Carolina and surrounding other states soon as well. Um, Happy to be here. Happy to drop some more nuggets for you guys, and I'll turn it over to Mr. LaShawn.
Yep. So LaShawn Abraham, the other part of the team Abraham here in Somerville. I am a loan officer as well. I'm also the sales manager for our Somerville branch, and we're here for another Teach Me Tuesday. So back to Mr. Wilmot.
Wilmot here with the Bear Group broker by eXp Realty, helping my clients reach their real estate goals. Big energy, people. Big energy. We're gonna do big energy today. So I'm super excited, man. Every Tuesday I get hyped because I just know that, hey, we get to talk about real estate and mortgages. So yeah.
Yeah, and we've been getting a lot of great feedback. So thank you guys for definitely tuning in and giving us your feedback and just encouragement. So we know that this has been reaching and landing to a lot of people, and so we are excited. And thanks, Wilmot, for keeping it going last week. I know we couldn't be here, but you did a great
Yeah,
job.
brother. Thank you for holding it down.
Oh man.
Doing
Hey,
what you do.
I'm so glad you guys are back. You know, you
Got
know,
somebody to talk back to you.
I it just works so much better with you guys here. So
No
yeah,
pressure.
no pressure,
But,
no
but
pressure.
that's why it's good to always have a team.
You
We're
right.
better together than apart. So
You right.
um,
You right.
one fun thing. I mean, of course, as we were missing last week, but man, we got to do something we really never done here in Charleston before. We had somewhat of a staycation, but we stayed
Mm,
downtown for
mm.
the first time ever in downtown Charleston, in the heart of downtown Charleston, and really kind of explored the city. We got to do it without the kids, so that was a
Oh
plus.
man. Oh man.
You
Oh boy.
hit the International African American Museum, hit some restaurants up,
Yeah.
and I really just enjoyed the city. So that was fun.
That's what's up, man. One thing, man, me and my wife, our family, we go to Charleston pretty often, and we have yet to stay downtown, and that's crazy. But
Well, yeah, I tell you what, it's a reason for it. I mean,
oh,
it's
that's
not
true.
something that I mean. Well, if you got it like that, you got it like that. But
Yeah.
it's staying downtown is ridiculous.
Mm,
Fortunately for us, we I ain't gonna tell all my secrets of how we did what we did, but
mm, mm.
it looked expensive, but it wasn't.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you can talk to me
Yeah,
after the
I
live.
got you. Offline,
I need to.
offline. I got you. I got
Yeah, yeah. I might need to know something over there because I'm trying to stay downtown. So
you. Hey,
But
let
one
me
of the
know.
things I'll add to that is that I mean, I would say I'm from Charleston. I mean, I lived in Charleston majority of my entire life, and I guess I kind of took advantage of just all that Charleston had because I've never
Mm,
really, like Gavin said, we go downtown when we got family and friends to show off, or we want to do a nice little date night, but really just explore the city itself. I mean, I truly understand why people are moving to this area. I mean, Charleston is beautiful. I mean, the restaurants, the food, the history, the culture, like it is just beautiful.
bro, like so serious. Me and my wife talked about this past weekend. We were in Charleston this past weekend. We went and we were at Isle of Palms.
Mhm.
So went to the beach with the family. And man, we just was like, man, what do we have to do to get down here? Like to get that second home or that forever home down there in Charleston, man, because we just love going down there, man. Like,
mm,
just love being with the family, love the food, just love going to the beach, the whole nine. So, yeah, beautiful.
and I'm sure it won't be this episode, but I'm sure we're gonna tap in, to how you can, ways of the process of purchasing second homes or
Mm-hmm.
investment properties, so that, in these areas that we always frequently visit, we
Yeah.
spend a bunch of money on
Mm-hmm.
hotels and
Mm-hmm.
Airbnbs and whatever it may be,
Mm-hmm.
but that other mindset of, man, I should own something here
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I can rent out, for. So we'll get into that, guys. That's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
But
That's
today,
Great idea.
Our topic, what we're focusing on.
So today we're going to talk about. I'll just
There
take
you go,
it
Sean.
there. We're going to talk about just roles, roles in a way of when you're wanting to buy a house, or when you think about, okay, yep, I made the decision, I want to move forward. There are a lot of people involved in this process. And so we're going to kind of dissect that a little bit, so that way you guys can understand who's all involved, what do they do, how do they impact your process. And so that's where we're going to start. So I would just say, once a person makes a decision, I think it's a little controversial on who they should seek out first, but they're ready to buy a house. Naturally, people, go find a realtor first,
Mhm.
before they go get pre-approved. In my
Mhm.
opinion, they should see us first before they see the realtor, but I
Mhm.
understand why they picked the realtor first.
Mhm.
So Wilma, what would you say, once a client reach out to you? What is your role, or what is your part in the process for the client, or the client,
So,
the seller?
LaShawn, you hit on something. So, I got a feeling we're gonna stay on some of these roles a little bit longer.
Yeah, if we could do a part two or part three.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A series or something, maybe.
Hmm. Hmm.
So like I do believe they should probably reach out to the realtor first. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna refer them to the Abraham, to the Abraham team. I'm so serious because like you do not know how good your lenders are. And guess who knows how good these lenders are? The realtors.
That's right.
Yep, you got a point. You got a
You
point
see what
there.
I'm saying?
Yep.
We deal a lot with a lot of different lenders. We know who not to go to, and we know like, oh man, if they approve her, shoot, she good. She good. And that's an advantage, guys. That's an
Mhm.
advantage when you have a strong lender, a strong realtor, and a good attorney. Okay. Those are, but we gonna talk about those other roles, but yes, the first person I would say definitely reach out to your realtor because guess what? Also, LaShawn, they might not need a mortgage.
That's true.
Hey,
They
this
might
is
be
Yeah.
true.
cash buyers,
Hmm.
Yep.
right? So we're gonna treat that cash a little differently. When I say treat them a little differently, we got it's certain things you don't have to do as far as with if you don't have a lender involved. Okay,
Right.
you close a whole lot quicker if you want to. All right,
Hmm.
because you don't have to go through certain things, but yeah, I definitely think you should reach out to your realtor so we can sit down, have a consultation, talk about your needs, your necessities, things of that nature, so that we can best serve you. Hmm.
That's good.
So,
That's really good. And I agree. I agree. And one of the things I like to always give this disclaimer to people when it comes to the home buying process, it's not black or white. I mean, it's truly gray, right?
mm,
Because I work with a ton of realtors, and I've done this for quite some time now. And honestly, all realtors are not the same. You know what I mean? All
Hmm.
realtors don't have strong relationships with lenders. All realtors have a different process, so everybody don't quite do it the same. But the ones that we work, the most with, and we work the best with, are people like yourself, Wilmot, who have a process, you have a system, you have a methodology to the way that you do stuff, which to me makes sense in how you should guide your clients to finding one, discovering what they need, so that you can best pair them, with the right fit.
Yeah.
e- exactly. Gavin, you got anything you want to add, brother? I know I've been
No. I
for a
mean,
little
like
bit.
I'm glad we have these talks because it gives us the other perspective. Because I mean, of course, yeah, from the lending side, we're like, yeah, step one, you need to know what you can qualify for
Yeah.
before you
Mhm.
go, before you even start hitting on the internet searching realtor.com for homes to see what's out there. Because again, that that it creates that picture that, man, this is the goal, when
Now let's
Mhm.
talk
truly.
about that for just a second, because I might step on some people's toes, because I know some realtors will show buyers homes without being pre-approved, or I have seen where some clients will go looking at homes, whether it's new construction or they're just driving around and they call the person on the sign without
Mhm.
knowing what they can afford. So, what would y'all say regarding that? Do you think that's a good idea? Depends on the situation. I mean,
Mm, I mean, I'll let Wilmot more the expert on that hit that. But I do want to say this: I don't think it's ever situational. I think you just need to know, what you need to have realistic expectations for what you can afford.
Mm,
Um, Now, if you can go in the house and look around and not develop an expectation for your process and for the home that you're going to buy, then by all means, go look at as many houses as you can. But if you're going to look to see, oh, I like this. This is what I could see myself in, or I'm actually interested in the buying process, then my suggestion is stop.
mm, mm. So that's a loaded, like
Very loaded
Right.
question.
loaded. So I've done both. Okay. I've shown clients houses before they've been pre-approved. Okay. And I also have, as soon as I make contact with them, got some information, had a consultation with them, directly direct them to a lender at that point. So I'm gonna explain the reason I did both. Okay. And I'm not saying with both one is right or wrong. Okay. So sometimes if I don't know you, right? If I've never met you before and you're brand new person and might be new business, and a new relationship, I might show you one or two houses up front, okay? Just to build that relationship with you.
Hmm.
That's it. And that's it's mainly for relationship building. Also, if you've never been looking at a home before, hey, it let you experience that. Okay. Then at that point, that next step, that's when I take them to the side and say, all right, hey, if you're serious about taking the next step,
Hmm.
the next person you need to call is a lender, a mortgage person. Okay. So that you can get pre-approved. Okay. And then I'll explain to them why. I would hate to show you more and more houses, right, that you love, granite countertops, the fully brick homes, everything that you want on the water, and come to find out you don't you will not get approved for it, or you don't qualify for it.
Hmm.
Okay. And then at that point, that person has a letdown, you know so I've seen that happen before, and that's why I said, hey, let's see what you can afford, you know and at that point we can see what's the next step we need to take, you know
Right.
so my job as the realtor is to act in your best interest to help you get into a home. All right. And I've been through every single step of the process, and I'm here to walk you through each and every step of that process. So yeah.
And that's good because I mean, you hit on a lot of great things there because people get, I call it emotionally attached. You know what I mean? When you walk
Yes.
in a house and it's beautiful. I mean, that's how we got during COVID. We were just
Yeah.
riding around eating ice cream and just looking at
Shit.
houses. I mean,
Oh man.
granted, I am a mortgage loan officer and
Mm,
I know what I qualify for, but still, I mean, we just
mhm.
literally looking at houses and we're like, oh, you get out the car and you really like, I really liked it. And you start envisioning yourself in the house and you're like, oh well, how can I make this happen, and how, and it's truly disappointing, if for some reason you cannot truly afford that house.
Yeah.
um
Yeah. And LaShawn, I don't mean to cut you off.
right.
I get it. I get it sometimes. You know, hey, why not see yourself in that property?
Hmm.
You know, I know there's things I want, right? Let's say it was a vehicle I want, man. I'm gonna go test drive that bad boy, you know. Um, just to see, like, all right, this is exactly what I want. So now I'm gonna work hard to get it. And that's kind of the reason too, just to be honest, I want people to see themselves, envision themselves in that home.
Hmm.
I want them to say, all right, man, I can see my family growing up here, you know. And then at that point, they might decide to actually do the work to
Mm.
get into a house.
So what
See?
I'm hearing is that, so it could be it's a good idea. It's not necessarily a bad idea to show people homes before they're pre-approved because it could be motivation or inspiration or
Exactly.
encouragement to help them, move forward with doing whatever they have to do to make things happen.
See, man, I'm trying to. This is why this works because not only are people learning that that are tuning in, but man, your boy right here learning. I sit here and I'm thinking like, man, I got a different perspective of it's not so bad. If you have that envisionment, that purpose for why you're taking somebody out,
Yeah, yeah,
that they're saying all the reasons that you're saying, Wilmot. This is the justification of why I may do this. Um, prior to knowing where this person falls. Like I said, give them that motivation, that encouragement. And
yeah.
I like that. That's solid. Good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's just, I mean, it's amazing when you expand your mind. Like what happens.
Mhm.
Like I'm big on that. Like hey, go experience it just to know. Like, oh man, I've been there. I'm going back. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So,
It's that
I
exposure.
it's that exposure, man. It's like once you've seen it, you can't unsee it.
Mm-mm.
You know. So I think that experience showing someone a home and they've never purchased a home before, so why not give them that experience and allow them to see it. Now, do I do this all day every day? No, I don't.
No.
I don't. you know
So people
um
can't just call you and be like, "Hey, I just
hey, I
want."
want to see a house, you know what I'm saying? Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk well, let's talk first before we go into that. Okay. Yeah, yeah, guys.
Well, good. Okay, so we understand what your role is. So when once you make the decision that you want to buy a house, reach out to the realtor, so that way they can have that consultation with you. They can then reach out to the next person, which is the lender. That should be the next step in the process. So
Hmm.
Mhm.
Gavin, tell us, why is it important to have a lender? What does the lender do? I mean, all lenders aren't created equal. There's
Right.
so many different types of lenders. So let's try to, I guess, dissect that a little bit too.
Yeah. I mean, well, the importance of a lender, guys, is that's the person who's going to give you money to purchase your home. That's the person who's going to give you a mortgage. Um, so you need to check with them first. You need to come to a lender to find out first of all what your options are, um,
Hmm.
in regards to qualifying. Like you said, every lender is not created equally. There you have brokers, you have banks, you have um,
Credit unions.
credit unions, yes. And then you have people, other programs such as like USDA Direct, um, who government programs that lend money, or federal programs that are
Mm-hmm.
also in the business of lending money
Mm-hmm.
to purchase homes. So again, everyone's not created equally. Everyone can offer some of the same generalized programs and options for a borrower, but what you're doing when you come to a lender is you're saying, hey, this is my scenario, this is my situation. Now the lender can dissect that and say, well, this is what's going to suit you best based on your
Hmm.
scenario or your situation. And I mean, the lender should act as the expert. Of course, in your mind, because sometimes we have conversations outside of the professionals where we're guided to think we need one thing versus another thing. I need to go USDA, or I need to go FHA or conventional or VA, whatever it may be, and that may not be what works best for you, or that may not be what's best offered in the county that or the state that you're looking to purchase in.
Mm.
So it's always very important to speak to not just the lender, but I always suggest if you can, speak to a local lender, someone who knows the area, knows the state and county and stuff, that has been very involved in doing loans in this area, or what have you, so that you can get accurate information. Someone who already has experience in what they're doing, um, and I
I
mean,
would add to that, if you don't mind. And I would say the importance of that is, when you work with a local lender, that lender can tell you what loan programs are available for that county, what's available, for, like you said, for that state, for that particular area. One of the other benefits of trying to figure out the whole lending piece is closing costs, rate, fees, all of that stuff. It varies. So depending on how much, money you have to bring to the table, or how much money you don't want to bring to the table, that lender plays a critical role in that. And
Mm.
making sure that that lender understands what your goals are. Any lender that you work with, they should do I call it, just like Wilmot said, a thorough consultation of, what are your financial goals? You got your checklist of the housing goals, where you want to stay, the neighborhood, the backyard. But the same thing on the lending side, we need to know, how much can you afford to pay? You know, how much
Mhm.
money do you have? How much money do you need? And so having that information is key, and asking those questions is really, really key.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'm gonna throw
Go ahead.
something in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna tell you a scenario I had one time with a client, and I got the client as a referral. Okay, and they had some lending from a different area. I mean, not, I don't even know if they're in the state.
Mhm.
And they brought me their pre-approval. I said, well, no, they brought me their pre-qualification.
Right.
It's a difference. All right.
Mhm.
And I said, okay, all right. We I don't know about this. But it was like, yeah, we good, we good, So I said, all right, cool. That's your lender. Let's move forward. Okay. So we went looking at homes. When it was time to pull the trigger and put the contract on the house, the lender was like, nah, they can't buy that one.
Oh no.
I said, hold up. I said the house is, it was in the pre-qualification,
Right.
the loan amount, but nah, man, it need to be in this area. It's in this area.
Mm.
Oh, okay. So before we go looking at houses, we need to send you the house first.
Mm,
So I say that to say this, guys. You definitely want to have a lender that's going to be thorough upfront,
Oh yeah.
because you don't want to waste time and money
mhm,
looking at homes, going under contract, and you can't close.
mm.
That's not a good feeling.
Right.
Okay.
And just to even add to that, I mean, and of course, guys, everybody has their growing pains or their learns in
Mhm.
this business. And fortunately enough, um, you know, we learn very quickly. So we are very heavily involved with the interaction with our realtors. Hey, this home, when we send out a pre-approval, it's to let you know that this is for a single family home.
Mhm.
If this, first of all, we do what we call is get the story. We get the story up front. We find out everything about what your goals are, and
Mhm.
then we dissect your situation, and then we work up your pre-approval, and
Mhm.
then you go out. You guys go, go at your realtor, go to Wilmot, go house hunting, do all that good stuff, fun stuff, and once you find it, hey, the realtor already knows to give us a call. Hey, this is what we think about putting the offer in on.
Mhm.
Can we see what this looks like for the, can we work up a fee sheet, send to the bar so they know what to expect, and so forth and so forth. We're going through all the details to weed out an issue of, oh yeah, this ain't gonna work after they already went in the contract. We're doing all that
Mhm.
on the forefront. You know what's gonna work even before you take them to see a house. Because
Mhm.
when we send out when we give you a pre-approval, or as any lender, when they should give you a pre-approval, you should know that what this pre-approval is for, what kind of home, and you should know, what amount, what area this is good for, all
Yeah.
that good stuff,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's part of having a good relationship with a lender, and why you go to a lender.
But what I hear from that, honestly, when both of y'all are talking, and the word that comes to mind for me is experience. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Um, I've been in business long enough, and the fortunate part being that Gavin has joined me in this business. I'm able to also teach him the business as well, and we know what to look for. Now, don't get me wrong. When I first started, it only took one time to have you know. I wouldn't even say it wasn't even my fault. My fault as the lender, but one of the things that we like to do in the lending process is we want to make sure that we thoroughly um, find out everything we can. We
Mhm.
ask and do everything up front, because to Wilmot's point is we don't want you to go under contract and now you cannot buy this house, because that feeling is, I mean, to me it's like, it can be detrimental. I mean,
Yeah.
I truly remember having my very first, one of my very first or second clients. She could not buy the house anymore. I mean, she'd already set up the moving. She put in her notice to her apartment, so she had to be out in 30 days. She was already about to switch jobs, like all kinds of. It was like a whole domino effect.
Oh yeah, I
She didn't,
remember
yeah,
you
she
going
didn't
through all that.
disclose to us, certain information that you got to be upfront with your lender. You have to tell us everything. But she didn't
Yeah.
disclose it and thought that we wouldn't find out. And when it came back, in underwriting, we'll kind of touch on that at some point. It truly killed the deal, and we couldn't do it anymore. And the
God,
lady was out of a house. She couldn't get her apartment back. She had 3 or 4 kids. Like, it was just heartbreaking. And so I tell people, having a great lender, having a great realtor, making sure you provide all the information, it is critical.
it's paramount. I mean, I remember when I first got started, and hey, I'm not perfect. I remember when I first got started, there were a lot of deals that I probably could have saved, but because I was inexperienced and
Hmm.
didn't look at every scenario or every situation, you know what I'm saying? Hey, uh, I, they fell through. You know what I'm saying? Didn't have all the resources as lenders like the Abrahams, and understand what was needed up front for the client. Always trying to find who could work with people with low credit scores and all kind of stuff. I learned a valuable lesson when it came to that, and I realized like, hey, it's good to have a good lender that's going to go ahead and do a thorough front scrub on my clients to make sure they are solid. And when we move forward on a deal, hey, we looking to close. It's
Right.
not We're not looking to hope we can get a house. We
Now,
look to
fingers
close.
crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going into that situation like, man, I hope we can get to the closing. Nah, bro, we gonna close.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because reputations are at stake.
Yeah,
Yours,
yeah,
Yeah.
the lender, everybody. So
yeah.
and
So
that's what this business is based off. It's based off reputation and your works. What
ex-
you put in.
exactly,
Um,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And so I think the other thing that people don't understand, and I think we'll probably wrap up, our conversation with this, the realtor and lender, and we'll do, a continuance of this series for our next calls. But a lot of time, I think the big misconception, because I've heard people say it to me, oh, whatever, oh, these lenders don't want us, they're discriminating against me. They don't want us, to buy a house, or they don't want to do my loan. And I'm like, no, 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 no. We are 100% commissioned,
that's right.
you know, workers here. It is in our best interest for you to buy a house. And so our job is not just because, we enjoy what we do, but this is our livelihood. So we want, you know, to, give you a loan, and Wilmot wants to help you find a house or sell your house, because this is how we make our living as well.
Mhm.
And
Exactly,
so I think that's a big misconception.
exactly. Well, I ain't got really too much to say about that.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
So did
no,
we want
yeah.
to do one more, or did y'all want to? We at 28 minutes. We try not to keep them too long, but we can.
yeah. I think that's good right there. I mean,
Okay.
make sure you got a good local, not only just a lender, but also a good local agent as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Because I'm a tag on that. It's things that I might get in other areas that, hey, I would love to sell you a house over there, but I'm pretty sure I got someone over there that could probably better serve you as an agent because they know that area. Like when you come
Mhm.
to Orangeburg, you need to call Wilmot.
That's right.
This is my backyard,
That's right.
right? So it's like I'm born and raised here. I grew up here. I know pretty much every neighborhood here. So it's like when you got local, people, they can guide you. I feel a whole lot better than someone outside the area coming in. Not saying they can't service you. Don't get me wrong. They can service you, but I definitely believe if I go somewhere and I'm looking to purchase a home in an area I've never been in, I want someone local that's going to be able to tell me some details that I might need to know as a consumer.
Mhm.
Uh, hmm
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and just to add to that real quick before we wrap up, um, one of the other benefits to having someone who's local, guys, and I'm not saying local is, you have, Bank of America has loan officers. Well,
hmm
you know what their hours are? 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
When Wilmot takes you out to look at a home at 6, 7 o'clock at night, and the listing agent tells Wilmot that, hey, I already got 2 or 3 offers on this house, and Wilmot needs a pre-approval. for that specific property. He can't. He when he called Bank of America, guess who answered the phone at 5 o'clock after 5? Nobody. But you know
Hey,
who picks up? You know who
the
picks
Abraham
up?
team. The Abraham team.
Team Abraham picks up at 7 8 or answers the email. Hey, I need a pre-approval. Got an offer we about to submit. Blah blah blah. You got it in 5 10 minutes.
I can't call Wells Fargo, can I?
Now you can't call Wells Fargo.
No shots. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
shouldn't
no
even say
shots. I
that.
mean, everybody serves their purpose.
Yeah.
But guys, we're just telling you, for every situation is specific. Every team is specific to people's needs, and we have the freedom to be very accommodating to the needs of
Yeah.
our clients.
Exactly. Not saying we don't have times where we cut it off, guys, and with our
Right.
family. That's important to us.
Mhm.
But just understand that, hey, we're here to serve you. We're here to give you the best quality service that we possibly can, and that's what we're here to do. So
Sure.
yeah.
Well said. Once again, another good Teach Me Tuesday. And I kind of figured this was going to happen. We had this whole list of things we were going to talk about and only got the two of them.
Yep.
So we will have a continuance of this because I think this is very good. And I think people definitely need to know this. So
Yeah.
we will do this again next week. So yeah,
Well,
until next
good
time.
point.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. If you get a chance, share this video with someone you think that might benefit from it.
Mhm.
Check out our YouTube channels. What's our YouTube channel?
Ours is Team Abraham, all things mortgage, Team Abraham on YouTube.
Okay, awesome. And mine's is the Bear Group, on Broker by EXP Realty on YouTube. So hey, click that like button, hit the subscribe, do the YouTube stuff.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, guys. See y'all later.
Next week. Peace.